Just a quick follow-up to the video I did where I was showing that, you know, a dual rectifier and a 6505/5150 can definitely sound different from each other even when they have the same speaker. I wanted to go into why fundamentally these do sound different for me and why I have a hard time dialing them in to sound exactly the same. And that's because they have very different mid-ranges. So what I did is I just plugged in my Solar guitar that I used in the same demo, and I don't even have a boost running on both. And I have the EQs in the same place, so everything is at 1 o'clock, bass, middle, treble. And then I just hit quarter notes as I turn the mids up and down, and then I'm going to have it through an equalizer so you can see where the mid-range boosts and cuts for each amp with the mid-range control, because the mid-range is really where the guitars live. And if I can't dial in the mids to be the same, I'm not going to be able to get them to sound exactly the same. The 6505's mid-range really lives between like 500 hertz up to like 1,000, maybe like 1,200 hertz, which makes sense. I mean, that's where you're going to get a lot of like the kind of cutting mid-range. A lot of tube screamers actually push mid-range around 1,000 hertz. So it makes sense that that's where this is. I mean, this amp's known to cut really well in a mix and a band context and live. So it definitely makes sense. And then on the other side of that, you have the dual rectifier, and the dual rectifier's top end for its mid-range was actually like around the 500 hertz area, which is the bottom of the 6505. And then it goes down to like 250 hertz, which those mid-range frequencies usually are kind of unpleasant, like boxy, kind of muddy, farty kind of sound. So it's actually kind of cool that Mesa put the mid-range there, because typically you would want to kind of carve those out a little bit in a mix, just because again they're kind of unpleasant. But you'll also notice on the dual rectifier that from about 500 to 1,000, it's already naturally scooped, and no matter how much I turn up that mid-range control, it doesn't really go up there. Again, this isn't to say that speakers aren't the biggest factor. They absolutely are. Speakers, cabs, and microphones are. It's just that people like different amps for different reasons, and while you can get plenty of things to sound similar, the mid-ranges on these are pretty different, and are why I like having both of them. But anyway, I hope you guys found this informative. Thank you for watching. Stay metal.